it's me, Teacher Gon. In our today's video, we will talk about the hyperbola. Hyperbola is the fourth part or type of the conic section na pag-usapan natin with regard to the precalculus. So we have the circle, parabola, and ellipse. At meron tayong mga videos patungkol sa mga topic na yan. And I will try to post the links of those videos na meron tayo sa circle, parabola, and ellipse sa ating description box. So without further ado, let's do this topic. So we have here, meron ako ditong dalawang graph ng hyperbola. And yung iba sa inyo, maka-confuse, sir, I think, hindi po yan hyperbola. Yan po ba ay dalawang parabola? Hindi. Ito ay hyperbola. Okay, hindi pa lang kompleto yung graph natin. Now, listen guys. So dito, yung dalawang set ng graph natin ng hyperbola sa ating Cartesian plane, yung graph natin, the center of those hyperbola is at the origin. O yung sa origin, sa sentro ng mismong Cartesian plane na meron tayo. Now, for the first graph, guys, the opening of the hyperbola is on the left and right. And this one is a horizontal hyperbola. Next, this one is a vertical hyperbola wherein the opening is upward or downward o kaya nasa y-axis ang kanilang opening. Again, this one is a horizontal. This is a vertical hyperbola. And later on, we will try to talk about different parts of the hyperbola. But by the way guys, ito nga pala yung table na pwede nyo magamit. Ito yung summary ng ating properties with regards to hyperbola. So let's start with the equation. As for the equation of hyperbola, as you can see, we have here two different equations. We have x squared over a squared minus y squared over b squared is equal to 1, and the other is y squared over a squared minus x squared over b squared is equal to 1. Now let me discuss first the difference of this hyperbola, of these equations. Now, in the first one, as you can see, we have here the positive term, which is the x squared. Yung merong x squared. Tapos, yung negative term natin ay yung merong y squared. On the other hand, yung atin namang positive term dito ay yung y variable. O yung y natin, yung y squared. Tapos, yung negative term naman natin is yung x squared. Ngayon, sir, alin po dito nag-correspond sa different graph na meron tayo? If your hyperbola is horizontal, this is the equation. Okay? Sir, paano po namin matandaan ito? Look, this is x squared. If your x is positive, ibig sabihin horizontal siya. It opens towards the x-axis. Now, ito naman, since yung y natin yung merong positive term, that is vertical, and since yung ating hyperbola, the center is at the origin, ang kanyang orientation or ang kanyang opening is within the y-axis. Okay? Another thing about this equation, we have this one. Pansinin nyo, nagbabago yung pwesto ng x squared sa y squared given the two equations. Pero yung a squared ay hindi. Okay? A squared is always at the denominator of the positive term. At yung b squared is always at the denominator of the negative term. Okay? Tandaan niyo yan. Next, let's go with the center. As I have mentioned earlier, sabi ko, the center is at the origin or the coordinates are 0, 0. Ito siya. This is the center. Okay? We have here 0, 0. Next, let's go with the vertices. As for the vertices, the general form of the vertices is this. If your hyperbola belongs to this equation or horizontal, the coordinates of the vertices are positive, negative a, 0. And if your hyperbola Okay? If your hyperbola is vertical, that is 0, positive, negative a. Ngayon, sir, bakit merong letter a? Saan ang galing yan? Remember, kung sa ellipse meron tayong c squared is equal to a squared minus b squared. Para naman sa hyperbola, we will use the formula c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. And ito yung gagamitin natin formula to solve for a, b, o kaya pwede namang letter c. Okay? So let me erase this. Ngayon, where's the location of the vertex? The vertex is here. Yung di ba sa parabola natin, let's say for example, meron tayong parabola. Yung parabola natin, yung pinaka-tip niya, that is the vertex. Ganito rin dito. The vertex is here. This is your v sub 1. Okay? This is your v sub 1. This is your v sub 2. And if this is the orientation, this is your v sub 1. This is your v sub 2. Next, let's move on with the co-vertices. Sa co-vertices naman, nandito siya. Okay? Pwede natin ma-point out ngayon. Let's go with the focus. Ito yung isa sa mga importante. Yung focus natin is inside the curve. So let's say for example, ito yung curve natin, nasa loob siya. So, ang coordinates naman natin is that we have the positive, negative c, 0 if that is horizontal, and 0, positive, negative c kapag naman pa-vertical. And again, yung focus natin ay dito. Okay? So, this is your f sub 1. This is your f sub 2. Yung foci natin, foci. So, lagyan natin ito foci. Yan. Para plural form. Next, if this is the orientation, syempre, nasa loob yung ating f sub 1. And this is your f sub 2. Okay? Now, let's move on. Let's go with the length of the transverse axis. That is 2a. Ngayon, yung 2a natin, guys, ito makinig ha. The transverse axis is this. Okay? Siya yung distance. Yung transverse axis na ito. Yung kanyang, it is a segment in which the endpoints are the vertices of the hyperbola. So if this is your vertex number 1 and this is your vertex number 2, definitely this is your transverse axis. At yung ating transverse axis is represented, or ang measurement niya ay equal kay 2a. Same with this one. If this is pa-horizontal or pa-vertical, this is your transverse axis, and that is represented by 2a. Next, let's move on with the conjugate axis. That is 2b, and then 2b rin to. So, hindi natin mapapakita dyan. Next, let's go with the equation of the asymptote. As for the equation of the asymptote, guys, if your asymptote, later on, papakita ko sa inyo yung asymptote. The equation are y is equal to positive negative b over ax if this is the orientation, and if a vertical yung orientation, your equation is y is equal to positive negative a over bx. Now, para mas maintindihan nyo yung tinutukoy ko about this, let's have a problem and we will graph a hyperbola. Okay? So now let's try having this example. Graph the hyperbola. I graph the hyperbola. Identify the coordinates of the center, vertices, foci, and write the equation of the asymptotes. Now, we are given the equation of the hyperbola, which is a squared over 9 minus y squared over 7 is equal to 1. First, ito muna sabihin ko sa inyo. You need to know the center. As for the center, syempre, as you can see, guys, yung ating equation, para sila ng formation dito. Ibig sabihin, the center is at the origin. Kapag walang ibang number na kasama sa numerators. Okay? Now, after the center, you need to know the orientation. Paano ba yung orientation ng ating hyperbola? Is it opening sidewards or open up or down. Sir, paano pa natin malalaman yun? Look at the positive term. Your positive term here is x. Ibig sabihin, ang iyong hyperbola, the orientation is horizontal. It goes like this. Okay? Nag-open siya sa left at nag-open siya sa right. Pero hindi pa tayo tapos sa graph, ha? We're just expecting the final outcome of the graph. Now, let's move on. Para mahanap natin yung vertices at yung ating foci, we need to get the value of A, B, and C. Okay? So, for the A, yung A natin, ito, solve tayo dito, your A squared is equal to 9. Now, to solve for A, get the square root of this, get the square root of this, your A is equal to 3. This is your A. Okay, guys? Now, let's move on to letter B. As for letter B, your B squared is 7. Okay, your B squared is equal to the square root of, 7. Now, if you want to get the value of B, simply get the square root of B squared and square root of 7. Your B is equal to the square root of 7. Okay? Now, continue na natin. Kasi kailangan din natin ng letter C. To solve for letter C, we will use the formula C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. In which, your C squared is this, wala pa. Your A squared is 9, plus your B squared is 7. Now, we need to get the square root of this para makuha natin yung value ng ating C. Your C is equal to the square root of 16, wherein when you simplify this, your C is equal to 4. Ito lang mismo yung value natin ng A, B, and C. Now, if we already have the value of A, B, and C, we can easily identify the coordinates of your vertices and focus. Kasi kung mapansin nyo, if yung orientation natin ay pagganito, you will try to follow this property. Now, ang vertices natin dito ay positive, negative A, comma 0. Kasi ito yung ating form di ba? Positive, negative A, comma 0. So, the coordinates are, let's start with the positive. So, that is 3, comma 0. And negative 3, comma 0. Pero actually, guys, you can do it manually. If alam mo lang yung if alam mo lang yung value ng A, B at C, kahit wala to. As long as alam mo yung relationships. Next, as for the foci, that is positive, negative C, comma 0. So yung C natin is 4. So that is 4, comma 0. And the other is negative 4, comma 0. Okay? Okay, guys? Now, sir, paano na po ngayon yan? How can we graph? Okay? How can we graph? For us to graph, ito na yun, guys. Para sa mismong graphing natin, since ang ating orientation ay ganito, from the center, gamitin natin yung value ng A, which is 3. So we will use 3 units. 1, 2, 3. Ito yung una. Next, 1, 2, 3. Papunta naman from center to the right. Ito. So what we will do is mag-create tayo ng rectangle para sa ating asymptote. Yung rectangle na gagawin natin, it will help us to draw the asymptote and the hyperbola. Maging guide natin siya. Yun yung isa sa mga technique. Now, ito na yung value ng A natin. And actually, nung magbilang tayo for the value of A, napuntahan na natin yung vertices natin. This is your vertex number 1. This is your vertex number 2. Tapos, yung bilangan natin is square root of 7. Wait, walang calculator, If we will try to simplify square root of 7 using our calculator, so the value of the square root of 7, is approximately 2.6. Okay, 2.6. So, lagyan natin sa siya. At lagpas ng 2.5. Okay? So we will move from the center. Again ang ginamit ko from the center sa left sa right ay yung value ng A. 3 units sa left, 3 units sa right. At para naman sa ating B, para makapag-drawing tayo ng rectangle, we need to use 2 units mahigit. So this is the point, and 1, 2, and then 2.67. Okay? So we will draw this line. Okay? So kaya gamit ng ruler, if you want. Tapos, i-drawing nyo lang yung rectangle. Again, the purpose of this rectangle is to guide us in drawing our asymptote. Tapos, ito rin. Sobra tayo dito. Yan. Drawing tayo ito ng rectangle. Remove muna yung vertex natin. Yan. And for this one, sobra tayo. Parang gumawa lang kayo ng rectangle that na merong width sa length na 3 and square root of 7 or 2.6. Yan. Ngayon, since tapos na sa rectangle mo, ngayon, yung corner naman ng ating rectangle, this will serve as the diagonal. Mag-drawing ng diagonal pero lagpas. Ito na ngayon yung ating asymptotes. Yan. This will be our asymptote. Mag-solid line na kayo dito, guys. This will be our asymptote. Ginawa siya solid line kasi meron tayong equation for this. Okay. Wala center. Sorry. Wait lang Wala tayo sentro. Ayusin natin. Ibig sabihin hindi even yung aking pagkakagawa. Okay? Sabihin natin ngayon ito. Again, the center. Yan. So, hindi center, wala sa center yung aking pero okay lang yan. Now, continue natin. Ito na ngayon yung guys. Etong point na to, this is our vertex number 1. So, this of 1, that is 3, 0. Ito naman, this is negative 3, 0. And this is positive 3, 0. Ito na ngayon yung ating vertex. Now, for the focus, para sa ating focus, okay, for the focus, that is 0, negative 4. So, dito lang tayo ngayon. 0, negative 4. Negative 4, 0. And the other focus is at here, which is 4, 0. So, paano ngayon yung ating hyperbola? Ang gagawin mo ngayon, parang ganito lang siya. Mag-drawing ka, ganito yung orientation natin, di ba? So, what you will do is you will start here kung saan mag-drawing ka ng hyperbola, pero hindi siya nagtouch sa asymptote natin. Tandaan nyo yung hyperbola mo, dapat yung graph ay hindi siya mag-touch sa yung asymptote. Okay? So, drawing din tayo dito. Sila yung muntikan na pero hindi nagtagpo. Muntikan pero hindi nagtagpo. Ngayon, okay na yan guys. We are done with the graph of the hyperbola. Una, gamitin nyo yung value ng A, B, and C. Tapos gawa kayo ng rectangle para maging guide nyo in drawing the asymptote. Tapos, your hyperbola, pwede nyo ilagay nyo ng vertices sa aking focus. Tapos, dapat hindi mag-touch yung graph ng hyperbola with the asymptote. And lastly, sabi dito, write the equations of the asymptotes. Now, as for the equation, yung ating equation here is y is equal to positive negative b over a times x. Kasi ito yung ating formation. So, sir, nasan po dyan? As for the positive, gamitin natin yung positive na format. Y is equal to b over a x. Ito siya. Ito yan. Okay, ito yan. Now, the value of your a, guys, the value of your a is 3. So, palitan natin to. This is 3. Your 7, your b is equal to 7, square root of 7. So, the equation of this line is simply y is equal to the square root of 7 over 3x. Ito ngayon ay isang linear equation. At itong square root of 7 over 3 is actually the slope. Again, the slope of the asymptote, which is positive talaga to. Positive slope to. At para naman dito, using the format y is equal to negative b over a x. Ayan po. Your b is negative 7, so you have y is equal to negative square root of 7 over 3x. Ngayon, ito na mismo yung equation ng ating second asymptote in which it extends from right to left. Kaya siya negative slope. Yun guys. This will be the intro of our discussion about the hyperbola, wherein we discuss the different parts of it and the different properties if the center of the parabola is at the origin, as well as we have the graph of the hyperbola. And guys, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to like and subscribe at i-hit na rin yung bell button for you to be updated sa ating latest uploads. Again, it's me, Teacher Gon. Maraming salamat. Pero bago ako magbabay, marami pa tayong susunod na video with regards to hyperbola. Again, bye-bye!